Hello everyone and welcome back to IMO Reviews. Things look a little bit different around here, and that is because we are finally in the new studio, which is just awaiting a couple more finishing touches. There's a few blank spaces behind me that are yet to be filled with some pictures that are yet to arrive, but we'll get there. And with this change to the studio, that does mean that there is plenty more content coming to this channel. We're hopefully going to start doing some podcasts, maybe with Mrs. IMO if I can twist her arm to appearing on the show. I have my PlayStation 4 and Xbox up here, so maybe we can get into some gaming streams if I ever figure out how that's done exactly. And just behind the camera, there's a whole section dedicated to my love of Liverpool Football Club and football in general, which is some indication that there might be some football content coming from this channel in the future. Sorry if that's not your cup of tea. And on that note, I'd just like to take a moment to thank you all for your patience. I do know the channel has been a little bit quiet for a while. I've been putting up the odd short here and there to keep you amused momentarily. And that is simply because all of this has been going on. But now that it's in a position where it's functionable, we have a lot of reviews to catch up with. And why not make the very first one in the new studio Abigail. Abigail is directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin, whose name has popped up a few times in the past. He has done movies like Ready or Not, of which I was a massive fan of. He also did Scream 6, which I was not a massive fan of. So he predominantly works in the horror genre, but it is a little bit hit and miss, at least for my money. And essentially Abigail is a reimagining, a modern retelling of a classic story called Dracula's Daughter. It's not a story I've looked into myself, but I did hear the premise for this film, that a group of criminals kidnap a young girl and then find out that the young girl is actually a vampire. And I thought, that's pretty interesting actually. There's a lot of fun that could be had with that. But now that I've seen it, what did I think about it? Well, let's dive into the positives, shall we? I do think all of the performances are pretty good here. No one's letting the side down. The characters are a little bit shallow, but that's more so in the writing. The actors themselves do very well with what they are given. Including Alicia Weir, I'm always a little bit worried when it comes to child actors. They usually are the thing that sinks the ship. But actually, she's given a hell of a lot to do here, and she holds it up really well. She did a fantastic job in the role. The plot did keep me interested from start to finish. It did cross over from that trailer and stay with me in the film. And I do think there's lots of moments of fun throughout the film. There's a few jokes that are blink and you'll miss it, but they're actually quite funny. In those moments, that was when I was most reminded of Ready or Not. But I do, unfortunately, have just as many negatives for this movie as I do positives. Abigail, unfortunately, just plays out so predictably. This should have been wilder, this should have been zanier, there should have been way more unexpected twists, there should have been genuine jaw-dropping, shocking, hilarious moments. There's so much potential here to keep the audience on its toes, but unfortunately it just peters out into monotonous nonsense, frankly. Nothing surprises you, everything goes exactly as you think it's going to go, and it just fades into yet another kill 'em off one by one horror movie. And it's such a waste, it's such a shame, because there is so much more potential here. As I mentioned with the characters, they are all extremely generic. They all have their own little character bio read out for them in the beginning, and it's so lazy, it's so slapdash, it's just making no effort to have us as an audience connect with these people. It comes across a bit video gamey and comic booky in that regard. But I think the gore is quite fun. I do think the violence is okay. The soundtrack is a little bit forgettable. I don't know, I'm very mixed on this one. There are moments in the film that I think are enjoyable, but overall, it is very predictable and very lazy, and it's nowhere near as good as it can be. This doesn't hold a torch to Ready or Not, which I personally think is Matt Bettinelli-Olpin's best work so far. So in the end, I'm going to give Abigail a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and please do hit the comment section as well. Have you seen Abigail? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, if you haven't had enough of this crazy ginger, you can always click on these suggested videos right here and get yourself lost in an IMO wormhole. But if not, take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.